What's up, everybody? We are back. We're here.
We are here.
After we were supposed to put this out in January, but damn, January was one gets sick, one gets checked in private places, one gets sick.
Forever.
The other one with the tail gets sick. You still feel sick?
Yeah. No, my voice is still not. No, when I streamed by myself on, what's that, Friday?
Mm-hmm.
I had to, my voice was gone by the end.
Oh my God.
So my voice is still not recovered. Like, even now, I can already feel it being, strained.
It's long lasting this time.
It's just lasts way too long, yeah.
Anyways, welcome to the SOSO podcast. We're here in the month of February.
Hello.
As we mentioned, it's been pretty crazy. It's been a crazy month, I would say. January.
Month and a half.
Month and a half, yeah. Things are pretty wild over here. I feel like I haven't really been the thing that really kind of keeps me locked in with streaming is actually doing the send-ins and doing stuff like that. If I didn't have that, I would feel like even just taking one day off of streaming, I'm just that's already because we have a break in between. It feels like I didn't stream for a whole week. So it's there's a week that was just only me because Blue was sick. There was a week where I can't be there, or this week
I mean, you say a week, but it's only a day.
Yeah,
so,
but it's
yeah,
because we have a day off stream and then day off. That's 3 days of no streaming.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty wild. Mm-hmm. It's pretty wild. But this is the first one for the year. Happy New Year's, everybody.
Is it?
Yeah, we didn't do one for January.
Oh shit. Okay. For some reason, I thought we already did one.
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's.
Hope everyone's having a great start of the year. If this is the way that you interact with our stuff, what's up? I've been getting into recording vlogs recently and putting them together and having a good time. Just posting stuff that I've always felt. I've always liked vlogs, but I never really thought to do one seriously. So I've gotten some pretty good feedback, but I've never gotten feedback from Blue. What do you think of that? Can I get a live feedback of what you think? Do you like
I've been filming stuff for you. I think that's
me falling asleep.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of a good sign, no? I'm actively filming you too, so
yeah. Someone asked me about when are we getting your vlogs.
I'm kind of in a creative slump right now.
Creative slump? What do you mean?
I haven't really done anything. I've just been kind of in a creative slump where I haven't really done any of my crafts and stuff either. So maybe, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. So yeah, I don't know about vlogs, but I'll get there. I'll figure something out. So
yeah, I feel like that it would not saying that it has to be a vlog in any way, but I feel like we share that and we kind of try to bounce off ideas. Hopefully to help you out of it. But I feel that too, especially in the winter or end of summer when I'm my mentality's not at its best, my mental state. I feel that. So hopefully you can bump out of that.
Yeah.
And hopefully I can help you out with that. But yeah, that's pretty much, and I've been just busy. This is I feel like I say this every year, but
you're always busy in January, February.
This is and I think I said this last year, but this is the busiest I've ever been. Thankfully, I love it. I love being able to work. A lot of things I have to think about this year that are maybe it's time for me to, when it comes to freelance, take it to the next level on many things. Have had the opportunity to do that. So things will change. Doesn't mean streaming will change, but in terms of the off-stream stuff, I feel been doing that next level stuff for me. Been writing for Dog Bed, which is super fun. I need that. And I'm starting to feel that I'm getting into that mode where you need to pull me out, where I'm neglecting, really important off-work shit, hanging out with friends and stuff. So I rely on you to pull me out of that, Blue.
I'm not sure if I'm the right person to, but I'll try
Why?
my best.
You are.
No, because I'm not really good at that either, so.
We look after each other.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's pretty much it for what we did for this month. For the last 2 months, just been working all that. Let's get straight in to the questions. It's kind of we kind of want to make this the main thing going forward. I guess that's another change for the podcast that we started at the end of the year. That we want to make it more anonymous question based, whether it be as long or short compared to the last one. I want to put more focus on that. So like the catch up part is a lot faster, and then we get into these questions because thankfully these questions they're meaty. They're meaty and they go deep. There's some deep diving stuff. So let's check it out. All right. Ikimasu kai. Do we have the first question up? Okay, the 1st question. Hi, Kensaki-san and Ruru-san. Nice.
Hello.
I was a bit curious about how you decide on the potential sponsorships. In addition to deciding whether the game looks fun to you and matches with the stream vibe, are there ever significant monetary benefits versus just getting the game key for free or other considerations? Keep up the great work. Thank you so much for the question. Anan?
We don't really do sponsorships.
We don't get sponsorships.
Like, we might get offers on like emails, but we just don't really apply to them unless it really sticks out, or maybe someone like a friend approaches us or something.
I want to make it very clear. I don't call free keys a sponsorship. So in that, I don't consider people sending out free keys for their new game.
Yeah, sponsorship would be we're getting paid to stream it.
Yeah. So
and a key would be guaranteed. And
we rarely, barely ever get sponsorship deals.
Yeah,
so
I think in the 8 years we've done maybe 3.
Yeah, probably. And of course, not like putting aside all the like. There's platforms out there that will like always have a sponsorship for everybody that's signed up for the website, like Stream Elements and stuff, which is great. And then we'll get emails for that, but that's not like for us personally. That's just like site-wide, incentive type stuff. I'm not counting those either, but yeah, we don't get many sponsorships, and every sponsorship that came our way, I think we've done. Because we had a conversation with the people and they seemed cool. The game looked cool, but honestly, for me, I would do the sponsorship if the person that I'm working with, I will decide by the person that I'm talking to more than if I'm interested in the game. Now is what it would be my take.
I mean, I occasionally look through emails. Like, we do get emails sometimes being like, hey, how about this game? And then so if there's one that looks interesting, I might bring it up to Gray.
But again, this is a free key.
Yeah, so but it's like a free key as well. Yeah, so that's not really, yeah. So in that sense, yeah, sure, we can get free keys, but it's not like for AAA games or whatever. Like, we're not sitting here with a free key to, Resident Evil or anything like that. Like, because I think Gray and I are we're also very, how would you say, like, we're people who, if we like a game, we don't mind paying for it. Like, that's not, it's like, not, like, we're not sitting here like, oh my God, I want to play this game so bad, I want a free key.
Yeah.
It's, oh my God, I want to play this so bad, I'm going to go pre-order it. Like, we don't, our immediate thought doesn't go to, oh, I want a free key. It's, oh no, we like it, we'll pay for it. Yeah. So I don't think we've ever really sought out keys either, if that makes sense. Because in our minds, like, well, if they're not going to approach us, like, it's not really our, like, first thought to be like, oh, free, if that makes sense.
And to kind of just, like, go back also on, like, the reading the question and, like, if there's significant monetary benefits, every sponsorship that we've done, I believe, is, like, they paid so much for, the work. Like, I wouldn't say the work that I put in, because I think we work really hard, but we're just, at the end of the day, we're not big influencers that have like a lot of like if we play a game, it's not like they're gonna get like 1,000 people to like download the game, and in a world where a lot of that is what the basis of sponsorships, I would say that the money that we get from these sponsorships are like way more than what we deserve. And I'm not saying that to like put ourselves down, or it's just it's pretty ridiculous that people would want to support like that, or support, or not support, that they would want to do business like that with a channel that's not very like business minded, I guess, or that has our heads into like, how do we make the most profit out of these streams? Or, ours is a lot more grassroots, a lot more community based. Support comes from the people that watch us and engage with us more than companies. That's just how we built Blluist, and we keep building Blluist. So, but other than sponsorships, I've had situations where like someone was making a game and they were watching the stream, and I got like a job from that. Like I got a gig from that. So that's a little different than like us as Blluist. It's not, we would like to. I'm not saying we wouldn't want to. We would love to. And I think I'm confident in making any game look good, as in like make it look fun for while we do it.
Yeah, but I just don't think we're not big enough to get constant sponsorship.
Right, but everybody,
That's just the reality of it.
Everybody probably says that and thinks that, just like we do. But at the end of the day, the bigger companies will look at the numbers.
Yeah. So, and like we said, like a free key doesn't. We're not counting that as a sponsorship. Yeah. I'm talking about like they will pay you to stream it for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
So when people are like, "Oh, I got a free key," that's not a sponsorship in our eyes. So,
right. And not saying that that's a bad thing. It's just that's not how I. Yeah. That's just not how I
wouldn't consider it a
see
sponsorship deal, I guess. So.
Yeah. So, so I would say, I hope that answers it. But if somebody was like, "Oh, we'll give you a crazy amount of money," of course that would be something that we would like look into as just, that would be a benefactor. It wouldn't be like the game would have to be so against everything that we stand for that to be. But then again, if you've ever watched the streams, like we don't really like. I'm pretty open to like most games, even if it's not my thing. I wouldn't I try to find the fun in every game that we play. So it's never. I think it's hard to be like, okay, yeah, Gray's not really good at crafting, or he doesn't like crafting games. But if there was a sponsorship that was based on crafting games, I would do my very best to like genuinely enjoy it, and genuinely. And if there's something that I don't vibe with, I'll say it, or like but that's a personal opinion, not like an objective opinion of like a flaw in the game or something. So it's a flaw in me and my dislikes, or just like what I'm bad at. So yeah, I feel like we would love to do stuff like that. And the times that we do, it would be like a friend that works for a company, because a lot of sponsorships don't come from the devs themselves, from them, but it will come from a company, like a in-between company, that they will be like, hey, we have this many keys and this is the budget, boom. And then that company has a list of influencers, and then we'll like, or streamers or content creators, and then they will be the one reaching out. And we know somebody that works for one of those companies, and then they'll like throw us a game here and there if they think we match it. And so far, it's been, every time that we've done it, amazing.
It's been fun, yeah.
Love it. So it's like, we would love to keep doing it. But yeah, thanks for the question. Hopefully we answered. Okay, next question. I expected dating culture is like this. So this is what they thought dating culture is like. You get in contact like a dating app, met somewhere, or exchange phone numbers. You get curious emotionally about each other, explore each other's minds, and look out for changing emotions. I agree. If feelings grow, lock in on that one person, and if enough trust is built for a long-time relationship, you then get into a conversation about getting into a relationship together. Okay? Yeah? And only after that, you get more physical and intimate. Oh, okay. Turns out, my view on dating culture is very traditional, old, or even cliche. Therefore, it was confusing or more of like a shock to me when I learned that in modern times, people can get physical. Hold on. We're talking about physical relationships, okay? People can get physical earlier and decide emotions later, or put emotions in on hold floating state and let kind of fate decide instead of consciously participating in the emotional development process. And that method with more than one person as well. So you can date multiple people during that time. I'm aware of one night stands and F plus situations. And friends with benefits, I didn't know that's how you read that. And I always consider them as fun with raw physical intimacy and zero isolated emotional connection. But that idea in my head was wrong and biased. I'm currently dating somebody, and the beginning was messy because I have this traditional expectation, but my date has the modern, liberal, progressive point of view, which I subconsciously didn't realize in the beginning. Okay. I thought it was love on my date side as well, so my world got turned upside down when I asked the question, are we in a relationship? And my date was around the lines of, no, we never talked about it, and I never said that we are. Wow. Okay. My mind was going haywire at the time, and the learning process out of that world breaking idea was difficult, and it's still an effort today. But I managed somehow. We were still dating, but now I'm aware that I'm not the only one. What? Okay, wait. Let me. I want to. Oh, wow.
No, read the full thing first,
Yeah.
and then you can reread it.
I know that relationship situations are always more than words can describe, but I wonder about the big picture of dating, and here's my question to you, too. Here's the question. Do you think dating has become more difficult in the past 20 years or so? Traditional views were more present in the past, or that's at least what media teaches us and old institutions have taught us. Maybe in reality, there are same amounts of traditional dating and liberal dating people, but nobody teaches us that. Sex ed sucks. Parents probably dream of vanilla ideals, and who knows? Maybe there are even more point of views a person can approach dating. Also, a general DLC question. What if your dating viewpoint is of a rare kind? Would you constrain yourself with it and have to accept it, that you are what you are, and that potential partners will somehow hurt you due to different viewpoints? And that the chance of finding a like-minded person is very slim? Or would you try to adapt and, for example, in my case, try to accept that there are people out there that get physical, get flirty, do all the relationship activities, but on the inside are nope, no relationship, even if it will painfully hurt? Blue will maybe notice it. Yes,
What?
I intentionally decided against running away. Against, that date partner is not for me. It felt like a cheap way out for me. Granted, it would have been surely the secure way from my emotions, but doesn't everything worth striving for contain something painful? That's my point of view on life.
Okay, let's go back.
Okay, that's interesting. So, from what I'm getting, you have a traditional mindset for stuff.
So first off, do you agree with the order of operations this person is saying?
Order of operations.
Like, not agree, but like, is that something you also agree?
That's what I am for sure. I mean, that's what happened between me and Blue, or how I approached when I was dating Blue before I started dating Blue, but I do also understand. Okay, the order of operations I think can change, and that's fine. Where it's like physical before we get into a relationship. What I think is that what I have a hard time with, and I think the sender here is also having a hard time, is it's like it was very normal growing up. It was a big event to ask somebody out. And when people ask somebody out, it's this moment of like, will you be my girlfriend? Or will you be my boyfriend? And you make it official. And then that's a way for them to be like, all right, we're in a relationship. And I think the modern way of dating that's kind of like gone. And it's like that moment is gone. And it's like, yeah, well, I guess we've been dating for, and then there's that moment where if you do it long enough, you're in that relationship long enough, you guys are dating, but you never had that, yes, we are a couple moment. And that's what's tough, I think. And then this line here in the first paragraph, but now I'm aware that I'm not the only one. This would kill me. I think maybe that I'm old school or, old mind, but I would have to know that I'm not the only one. I don't want to find that out later. I think that would bother me. And probably for me, I don't think I could do that relationship if that was the grounds that we started on and we are both we understand, that's fine. But finding out that we had different values and that I'm not the only one after the fact that I believed that I was the only one is heartbreaking for me. And I feel like that's a different dynamic that I didn't sign up for and I wasn't prepared for.
So I've been in both situations.
Okay.
As in, I've been in the like the traditional one, where you start off as like, because I've never. So when it comes to me, my attraction to people isn't really looks. I mean, it is partially looks, but it's more. I don't get like, oh, that person's hot. Like I don't really get that initial kind of like physical attraction as much. Like sure, I'll find someone attractive. But to me, that doesn't really mean anything. That doesn't mean like, oh, I want something more with them because they're so attractive. It's just a fact. Like, oh, they're attractive. Cool. Moving on. Like it's like it's just like a thing, a tick, like a list of like a part of them, I guess. So, but once I start talking to them is when I realize like, oh, no, I'm attracted to them more than just, oh, they're not just attractive by like looks, they're attractive inside too. Kind of thing. So I think I am someone who's not really good with one night stands because it's hard for me to be physical in the first place until I talk to them because I'm not interested until then. So, but I've also been in situations where, like for example, I was in and here's the thing, it's hard to call a relationship because before I moved here, when I was saving up money to move back to Japan, I was in a relationship, I guess, with somebody, but we were both, it was an understanding that we liked the companionship and because sometimes we would hang out with like nothing, no romance or anything. But there were times that it would go there, right? But we were both in the understanding that I wasn't going to be here permanently. And we also understood that it was not like we were not exclusive or anything. So I knew I was not the only one, if that makes sense. Like going into this.
Whoa. Okay.
And I was okay with it because I'm not going to be here. So
right, you're the one that's leaving.
Yeah, I'm the one that's leaving
right,
too.
Right.
So it's like, why would I expect this guy to just give up everything for me? It's like I actually liked talking to this guy. He was interesting. I liked hanging out with him. If it leads to something one of those days, like that's fun, cool, whatever. But it's not something I was consistently looking for or expecting or anything. And then when it was time for me to move back here, I was like, okay, hey, thanks, goodbye. I haven't talked to that person since. Like, that's just it. It was just like a very, very, like we both knew it was temporary. We both knew it wasn't an exclusive thing. So I think that's why it worked is because I knew that I wasn't the only one, right? So I think in your case, that's kind of why it seems like a betrayal is because you didn't even know that it was this kind of relationship.
That's what I meant too.
Yeah. So it's like, I think those kind of relationships are okay, but you have to be really, really transparent with the other person or else you do get different expectations. And I don't think your viewpoint is traditional or old. There's plenty of people who think like that. I think it's actually quite normal that you think
similar.
Like that. Like, I think it's not. No, like, I think even nowadays, there are people who are like that. So
yeah, for
it's
sure.
just like, I mean, yeah. So I think it's the fact that that person didn't communicate with you was, I think, on that person. Like, it is that person's responsibility. Because I think any human would expect that, oh, we're having a physical relationship, we're enjoying each other's company, it's going into a romantic side, then you expect to be exclusive. That's how a lot of relationships work. Like, that's how society teaches us. A lot of us become married and you become one-on-one. Like, that is the route most people take. So it is, I think, quite rude of that person to expect you to think like, oh, this isn't exclusive.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm gonna connect what you just talked about with the question of like, do you think dating has become more difficult in the past 20 years or so? And I think the answer is yes, especially for someone that, because the sender and me, we have the same views of stuff. And I think it's extremely hard now. I can't imagine right now. And for two reasons. One is exactly what this is, where it's like there's different viewpoints of like the most fundamental part of what we define as a relationship has changed. And there's like different versions of it that we don't even know exists when, since the fundamentals have changed, and that's fine. It's just that the fundamentals have changed in a way where it actually contradicts and rejects a traditional thing where it's like that would be considered cheating, dude, or like that would be considered betrayal. So, but it's not, because there's just, different shapes and forms and colors of dating, right? So that's one. That's what made it harder, is that there's new versions and angles of relationships that actually directly contradict each other. So again, communication is important. And then it's the internet. This is the cliche one, but like this is like we're a lot less social. It's easier to be isolated. The idea that the internet connects you with the people around the world is true, but at the same time, it isolates you from like physical situations, right? So I think to answer that first question, yes, I think it's harder because of that. And the second one is, what if your dating viewpoint is a rare kind? Would you constrain yourself with it and have to accept it that you are what you are, and that potential partners will somehow hurt you due to different viewpoints? This one is again connected to what me and Blue are saying. It's not about constraining. Even if your dating viewpoint is of a rare kind, that should be the first thing that you guys talk about when you want a relationship, whether it be casual or real. That would be the first thing. If I thought, hey, I have a really unique way of looking at a relationship, even if it's not rare, that would be a common ground that I need to have going into not only a romantic relationship, but a friendship. That we have the same idea of,
like, I think
what
it's
a
okay to
relationship
ask, like,
rules
hey,
are.
I'm looking for something long term.
Yeah.
And then if they're like, oh,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm not really looking for something serious, then it's like, okay, then you can go separate ways. Or if you're okay with it, then you can stay. But at the end of the day, you kind of have to, I mean, I think it's like the age old thing of having to communicate with a partner, like even with like anything, right? Because I think, because I mean, that's like alongside with like cheating, everyone has different views of what cheating is. And that also depends on that person's viewpoint too. And so if you don't communicate what cheating is considered, someone might accidentally cheat depending on your definition of what cheating is. Even though to that person, maybe it wasn't, but your partner, it is, kind of thing. So at the end of the day, it's all about, I think, communication. And unfortunately, it is kind of an awkward thing to ask. Like, hey, I know, I noticed that we're going into like this kind of territory, and I just want to make sure. Like, I'm looking for, like, it is a weird conversation to bring up. I understand, but I think in this day and age, you might have to do that. Because I think a lot of people are not as social anymore, and maybe, people forgot that that's kind of the norm, I guess.
Yeah.
So you might have to be the one that brings up that conversation, but if that avoids your situation, I think it's honestly worth it. And that's something you can laugh about later if it goes well. So like, it's just, And I think there's no, like, because I don't think your viewpoint is rare.
Not at all.
So I think you just have to find the right person. You unfortunately got matched up with someone who just doesn't vibe with you, like, your perspective on life or what you want in life right now. So,
or I mean, you guys are managing somehow,
Yeah.
and you've made this decision, which I'm super happy that you guys are still together. And then you go, and you're saying
but
that
if you're
I'm
not
aware
happy
I'm
with the
not
fact
only
that
one.
you're not, like, there's other people, then I don't know if that's also healthy for you to kind of, I don't know.
No, if
It
if
kinda
that's something
yeah.
you're okay with and you've come to terms with, and you would, even if it is a little bit of hurt, spending time with that person is more of a priority. That's the choice that you've made. So that's not something me or Blue can be like, that's wrong or right.
Of course, yeah.
I think the reason or one of the things that kind of like makes me question is the way that it's worded, the potential partners will somehow hurt you due to a different viewpoint.
Exactly. That's the point. Yeah.
When you have the only way that you can get hurt by someone's different viewpoint is when you get blindsided, when there's a surprise factor, right? Because if you knew that person had that viewpoint to begin with, there's no surprise or there's no hurt. The fact that someone gets hurt is because you guys don't. That's not something that maybe it's under assumption. You think of this relationship like this, right? Because everybody thinks this way, or I think this way, and then it becomes like a surprise, and that's a lack of like conversation. It's like a lack of communication, and I think that's what you need that communication first before anything, and I think that's what is. That's the most important thing, is that the viewpoints need to be one of the first things that you know about that person before getting even into a friendship, or like not a friendship, but like a romantic relationship.
Also, you have to be, I'm also concerned about like resentment, because I think you also shouldn't have to give up your viewpoint to match somebody else if you don't want to. So if you're okay with it, it's fine, but like you shouldn't force yourself to match somebody else either, because I think that breeds resentment. I mean, that like I've heard of a lot of cases where it's like, couples get married, one doesn't have a kid, one wants a kid, and they resent each other for the rest of their life if one has to conform to the other person, kind of like that. So it's like if one person has a very strong view on something and the other person doesn't have a strong view on that, it, I think, creates a lot of resentment in the future. So you don't want to be in a situation where you're forcing yourself to feel a certain way just because you have to. Because you shouldn't have to do anything. Like if you're not comfortable with it, don't force yourself to be comfortable with it, because it's not, I don't think it'll last in the end, like emotionally for you and mentally too. So.
そうだね. I'm hearing this story. I'm glad that if you are happy with the relationship, I'm really, really happy for that, and I hope that it continues long. And I feel like you guys obviously had this conversation. You guys are where you guys are now. That conversation is always important. Like me and Blue, like that's the most important thing for me and Blue, is to be always talk about stuff. Communication, number one, and that goes beyond romantic relationship. Just as a best friend, it's just and that's like not something you can do with. That's not something I do with anybody else. So it takes a lot of effort, but it becomes something vital and important. And I hope that person can be that for you. And if it doesn't work out that way, that's also fine too. And I think because, like I said, dating is definitely harder for people that have this kind of mindset. I don't want anyone to think that like they're never gonna find somebody, or like I think there's a little bit of like kind of panic where it's like, if I break up with this person now, what am I gonna do, and stuff like that. But if there's a point where communication gets hard, it's only gonna get worse. And you're gonna start, and it's not even the other person. You're gonna want to start hiding shit, and they're gonna you're gonna start thinking, are they hiding? Because the reason why you start doubting that is because you're hiding your feelings, or like your true feelings too. And so if it gets to that, I hope you guys, communication, number one, always.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much for that, and we're rooting for you. Okay. Next one. Hello. I realized I didn't share enough context. Actually, do you want to read? I've been reading them all. And I'm very bad at reading.
Hello. I realized I didn't share enough context about my situation before, so I wanted to follow up with a little more explanation. I've decided not to tell my parents about returning to university and studying again.
Person. Okay, yeah.
As Blue guessed right, I am female, and being in the late 20s makes my Asian parents nervous about starting a family and giving them grandchildren soon.
You're right. You nailed
to be honest, it would be between them pressuring me about starting a family and my age, or finishing my studies quickly and earning more money. The exams are very hard and the dropout rate is quite high, so I would prefer them only pressuring me about marriage and starting a family than the studies. The studies will only take a bit more than 2 years and will help me to do what I want to do. It might not guarantee a salary increase, but it would be sustainable and give me more flexibility so that I can change jobs or choose different working hours.
Okay.
Of course, it'll be tough because I've been working for a while now and studying feels intimidating. It also means that I would have to go through my savings, but I believe that was the point of me working up until now. I really appreciate your response to the podcast and hearing both of your perspectives. It helped me feel less alone and more confident in thinking about what I actually want for my own future. I also love Gray's comment that he will do it for the stories. Maybe in 2 years, when the podcast is still around, I will share the entire story. But thank you so much for taking the time to talk about it.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, new kind of thing about this that I didn't realize that there would be a follow-up to these.
But yeah, I kind of figured it was going to be a starting family situation.
Detective
because you're a
Blue
girl.
nails it.
Because I was in a similar situation with family. Not direct family. My parents have been understanding. But yeah, I get that a lot from like distant family members. So I get the pressure.
Yeah.
So especially if you're a girl in an Asian family, like it's... Yeah. So
can I also say my one thing about what this person sent? I think there's something really important here, mindset wise, that I respect so much that I didn't have in my 20s. And I was just like, holy crap, when you were reading this. It's the last part of the second paragraph. Of course, it'll be tough because I've been working for a while now and studying feels intimidating. After this, it also feels that I would have to go through my savings. But I believe that was the point of me working until now. Okay, so this is actually crazy because I don't know if you, sender, realize this, but people don't know why they work. Like, and that's like a normal thing. They just work for money, for like a ambiguous, and this is fine. There's no problem with this, but like they work and they like work and work and work. It could be ambiguous, like family, savings, and that's fine. And it is for it. But for you to be like, I'm going to go through my savings, because that was the point of me working. Like, you found a reason why you work so hard at your age already. It's early for that to be like a thing at my age, at like 35 this year. But for you to be able to do that and take a risk and be like, wait, this is what it was for. This is what all this work was for. Is a mindset that I can, this is anecdotally because I don't know everybody in the world, but from the people that I've experienced, is a really, really strong mindset and very rare.
I mean, it also proves that I think your decision is the right decision if that's what you can feel about it. So yeah,
it's focused, it's determined, it's a vulnerable thing to say, yet I feel like your mind and heart is already set. And I think what's so crazy to me is that you already have a reason why. It's so important to you that you gave all this hard work and all these years. You gave a reason to all of it, which means that you're not going to, once you do it, you're not going to regret all the time that you spent. The only time you regret anything in life is after it happens. Right? After something happens and you go, oh, that was a waste of time. Or like, but if you know that this was all for that future, none of that time is going to go to waste. And you didn't regret even a second of your life studying, which is super important, I think, as a mindset. It's just the way that you frame it in your mind, the way that you see it, that I respect so much. And I'm only cheering you on, and I hope that you make it is the right decision. Whatever I said it. I think I said it before too, that every decision you make is going to be the right decision. But I can tell from these words already. And it might have just been like, you write a lot more carefully than I do when I type. And I don't know if you're actually picking your words or if this is just a natural like a blob of words. But these are, I don't know. Like, to me, like, it really shows that you know what you're doing and you're locked in. So good luck, and I'm wishing for the best. And please, in 2 years when it's around, share the entire story. So I'm excited to hear in 2 years. Thank you so much. Okay, Next one starts off with a name, so I'm gonna read it right off. Robbie. I don't know if this is Robbie or someone talking to Robbie.
Yeah.
But this is an email to Robbie.
Maybe it is to Robbie.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Haha, where to start? So this was talked about during a solo Blue stream. So I wasn't there. I'm emotionally drained with digesting media nowadays. I'm also experiencing artist block over and over. This has been happening for years. And I don't know which one came first. I used to consume so much anime, was a huge film enthusiast, was binging 10 plus seasons of shows or 1,000 plus episodes of animes, used to trophy hunt in games, and was always up to date with comic books and mangas. I don't read books that much, but even back then, I try to pick up something that interests me, even though a lot of them I don't finish. These are my life. They define me and motivate me with whatever, maybe through art, music, or something else. And I find inspiration from them. Nowadays, I don't consume anything. I stopped comics completely, and I used to collect them. I'm also drained by bland comic book movies when I used to get excited by the next MCU title. I used to follow film directors that inspire me like Nolan or Dennis... Can you pronounce that? Villen...
I don't know.
I'm sorry, we're stupid. And try to devour
I don't know who that is.
their entire filmography. I also used to listen to film, anime, and video game composers and try to replicate them of their arrangements. I don't even go to cinemas anymore, other than anime films, because they're very rare. Whenever I have free time, I just stare at my Steam and PS library and spend hours on the Netflix catalog until I fall asleep. I'm so behind with mangas I've been reading when I would always talk to friends about recent chapters and theorize what would happen next. Recently, I haven't been discovering new artists to listen to. I'm just listening to the same albums over and over. I would realize that my Spotify Wrapped every year would be the same 5 artists, and I don't know if that's a good thing because I'm one of the 0.1% of that. And then I'm too stuck in my box and I'm afraid to consume something new. And these things affect my artistic drive. I find inspiration from all of these. A new song dropped, I try to learn it, piano or guitar. New science saru anime, I try to draw and copy their art style so I can try something new. I would lose drive to continue projects I've been planning for years. I haven't gone back to traditional drawing like I promised myself. I stopped writing entirely. My enthusiasm for photography, videography, and cinema in general has completely faded away. I haven't edited something outside of work in a long time. Heck, I used to dance before. What happened? I keep on making covers instead of composing new music. It's like I don't make something original anymore or anything at all on my own. Whatever project I've been doing, I've been revising them over and over to the point that my concept idea for it has been erased entirely. Funny thing is, and I mentioned this on stream, I'm not so sure if it's depression. I've been thankful for these past few years because I feel blessed and have been feeling pure bliss from people around me. I met new friends, going out more often, trying out new hobbies, going to events, and experiencing a lot of stuff that I usually would pass on. I've been very lucky to can be in communities and I can keep going back to. Friends that I'm solid with throughout the years and very loved and cared by my family. So why? Am I just bored? Is it just adulting? Am I too old already to have energy? Or are these just underlying feelings of escapism that I didn't realize? As if I keep telling myself that I'm okay, but there's clearly something wrong and I don't know what. Though, it's not completely zero all the time. I've been following both of your journeys and I find inspiration from them wholeheartedly. Blue's story in becoming a designer, Gray being back in the music scene and making vlogs here and there. They're all huge inspirations to me. I'm the type of person that's very passionate about the things I love and genuinely appreciate those who give me meaning, and I will always be thankful for that. So I'm not 100% losing hope. Maybe I'm just currently hungry while typing this. Shit, maybe I should have stayed anonymous when I've been glazing you both too much. Ew. Thank you, man.
Yeah, so this is something we talked about on my solo stream because I've been having, a lot of artist burnout. I mean, this is something you helped me with recently where I had a really low point, and I was in a really panicked state where I thought I was falling behind in life and I was falling behind all of our friends and you and everyone. And I thought I was like, I had nothing to my name. I had nothing to be proud of. I was like so like self-deprecating and so like victimizing myself that it was like just a loop of me just hammering myself down into this tiny little black hole that I've made. And
I was here thinking we were playing Marvel Rivals or something.
No,
you guys went deep.
We had a very deep conversation.
I love that. Yeah.
So like in similar, I haven't made anything in the last 6 months. I haven't created anything new. The only thing I've created new was for work. And I don't consider that as something for myself. And so, sure, I mean, yes, you can argue that I do creative things for work, but I don't count that as creative things because that's something I get paid to do. So, but yeah, when it comes to like my own things, I haven't done anything. And so I completely understand. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know. Is it depression? Is it just low drive? Is it burnout? Is it just, like artist block? I don't know what it is. Because yeah, I've lost all interest in anything these days. I'm not interested in doing anything, which is weird because I'm someone who was constantly doing something. I always had some kind of hobby. I was always fixated on something. And then I'm at a point where it's like, no, it's so like, what am I doing with my life kind of thing, right? So yeah, because like I used to draw all the time too. I used to consume a lot of movies and a lot of shows and a lot of like media as well. But nowadays, I mean, yeah, I haven't made Kumihimo in months. I haven't touched chainmail in months. The most recent thing I did was add this to my phone. I don't consider that creative. Like, and I stitched up your denim jacket, but that's still not creative, right? Like I do things with my hands, but I noticed that it's just busy work. Like I'm looking for ways to justify doing things, but it's at the end of the day, I'm not creating anything original. So yeah, I totally understand that. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It's so weird. It's like this weird phenomenon that we're facing.
It's my take on this, because I wasn't on the stream and I'm reading this for the first time. Of course, I talk to you all the time about this, but or like we talk about it together. But I believe that there's a part in Robbie's message here that says for a second, is it adulting? Is it depression? Right? I don't think it's different for everybody, so I don't want to generalize. But for me, these thoughts cause depression. It's never caused by depression for me. For someone that is very creatively driven, and I have moments like this, but I've realized that, and it actually is adulting, a part of adulting, because once we started working, and you said that you only do stuff for like work, so you are, and you do work, and you see the people around you, or this is one of the hard things about the internet, or like one of the ways that I felt a hard time is we see this life on the internet of people succeeding, whether they be content creators or they end up being content creators, but they're just like architects or something, or like showing their life, and it's really successful, right? So even if you don't have real life friends, the internet
You're constantly fed.
Yeah.
Like, all these people they look like they're successful.
So you have real life friends that maybe have a normal job that actually is really stable, and they like clearly objectively have more money than you and have like an easier living than your day to day. And when you don't have that as a kid, because we're all kids, but the more you grow up and you start to involve yourself in this new factor of what you need to do and what you want to do and it starts to exist. And I think when you fall into this, watching anime, this input stuff, watching anime, trophy hunting in games, watching documentaries, reading books, a lot of this stuff, it doesn't have a one-to-one tie to work, which naturally becomes the thing you need to do. So then there's this new layer of waste of time that comes in that ruins everything. All this stuff that we purely enjoyed, all this art, all these creative endeavors that we have start to get filtered out one by one with, is this a waste of time? Is this a waste of time? Because I shouldn't be doing this. There's something I need to be doing versus what I want to do. So, okay, since this is not something I need to be doing, gone, waste of time. And I think, and this is very natural, it's happened to me, it's happening to Blue, and it's obviously happening to you too, but the filtering has gotten so intense and we can't get away with it. Back then, you didn't open up the YouTube app and then see these successful lives of all these people that we've never even cared about and just been throwing it into us in some sort of way. They don't even need to be successful. They just have to show it that way and edit that way. Or like, I'm having the time of my life. It used to happen on like Instagram when like everyone would just post like the snippet plastic second of them having the best time of their life and you feel FOMO as fuck. Like it's like that, but on such a big scale now with like career, not just like a night out. It's like
especially
a whole life.
Yeah, because like I think a lot of social media, because social media feeds us that hobbies have to become money making. And I think that's the big thing for me was that I'm having this weird thing where every hobby I veto because I can't see a future, as in like I can't see it making me money.
Right.
Because I've been consuming so much media, like social media, and not even just social media, but just like anywhere you go, it's full of people who have either one, they have actually successfully made their hobby into a job, or two, they are successfully making it seem like they've made their hobby into a job, or three, it's like, they show like they have successfully showed us that if you can't make it into something, then it's like a waste of time. Like you're not doing it right. If it doesn't succeed, you're not doing it right, kind of thing. So, yeah, I think it's difficult.
And it's not just the internet. I just want to make clear.
Yeah,
like,
it's not just the internet. It's just everywhere. It's everywhere.
It's like because you have friends that you grew up with
Yeah.
that are like that, where it's like and that's like you should be happy for them, but then it's hard to not compare yourself when you've had like the same childhood or something like that, but you are in such different financial places or such different places in life in general and I think it's extremely normal and hard to ignore that if you believe that, like, crap, I have to think about the bills. They never think about that. It's like stuff like that, right? And so I feel like we're at a place, or like you're at a place where it's like you filtered out a lot of this stuff and now you're kind of burnt out of filtering out everything, and it's gotten to the point where everything new, that filter is so strong that if you try to like, okay, you go to Netflix, right? Or like you go somewhere and you want to get into something, the filter is so strong that you go, oh no, that's a waste of time. Oh no, I'm not going to get into that. This is like, and I feel like naturally that's just what's happening, and that's like it's like a burnout machine before you even start, and it sucks. And it's like, because like you said, like you didn't used to be like that, and I think the thing that changed was that this idea of work and free time, and because we always think like we'll do what we want in our free time. Hobbies are what you do in your free time. That's like a nice way of saying like wasting your time, like is the way that we've like unintentionally framed it. And that's how they want, like, work will always frame it that way. So like maybe you're like me, where it's like there was a time where if I wasn't working, I feel like I was like doing something wrong, and I'm like just like literally eating or something, like, like
you feel guilty for not doing something.
Yeah. And it's finding that, it's realizing that balance.
I have that daily.
Right.
So,
and I think that's like, it's almost like we're made to feel that way, and it sucks, especially if you're doing something creative. Holy shit, does the world not like you doing shit that's creative? Like, and people won't tell you, like, and this is kind of going off the YouTuber life thing, but Blue and I had this dream. If this goes too off rails, you let me know, because I think you know where I'm going with this. I had a dream, and I woke up and I had to talk about my dream because I feel like I framed it so well in the dream. And when you wake up, you try to you forget stuff. So I tried to not forget, and I was trying to remember, and I was able to remember it. And in the dream, I was framing, because I was having this idea in the dream for some reason. I was thinking about this in the dream. I'm like, why does it feel so weird like this? Why does it so why am I exhausted by social media and YouTubers and all this stuff, like whatever's fed to me? And I worded it pretty well in my dream. And I told Blue, and I said, if you're an artist, you make art, and then your life is defined by that art. If people like that art, there's a life that happens based on this core art that you make, right? This music, this thing that you spent hours on. So you don't actually care about the lifestyle that you have once the success is there. You just care that people care about the art. That makes sense. But a lot of times, this is just how it is. This is not a bad thing to have. This is just how YouTube, like content creation, a lot of it is. People are fighting not for like the best video or like the best crafted, like, okay, I'm so glad that this video came out this way. It's not that. It's a lifestyle aesthetic that YouTube shows that you can have if you succeed. That's what they're going for. You see a video of somebody like filming their dog and they're like, look at my dog doing funny shit. And then it's like, that's a thing. Like, yeah, the dog is funny, but the underlining thing is you think this person's making a living, like just living life, filming their dog, and then their house is in the shot, and it's like this huge fucking house. You don't even actually know if it's actually their house, but you go, wow, and they live in this huge place. They're selling you a lifestyle aesthetic. Content creation sells you not art. They're selling, and I call it an aesthetic because the word aesthetic is only used by people that from outside looking in. It's never a word that uses, nobody is going, I'm so aesthetic. The word aesthetic is only used when people go, oh, that's super aesthetic. It's what how people see you.
I don't know. I'm pretty aesthetic.
Yeah, okay, fine. Or farming out here. Anyways, but that's what was exhausting to me. And that's just my little, like, this might not be exactly helpful for you, but this is just an idea that I had that I felt was connected, is that, and when we see that, it's exhausting. It's fucking, and it's not like they're doing anything wrong or these people are, that's just how it is.
That's just how it is.
And being aware that, like, it's so different to create, and don't get me wrong, there's some people out there, like, that will try to make, like, the perfect video, or, like, they're, like, super artistic, and there's a lot of artistry in their video, but I think it's easy, and it's hard to argue that a lot of it is more about, like, okay, let's just get this video out, and then like what it promises is what we want, which really I have a hard time connecting with that, because that doesn't make any sense to me. And when that's what is fed to you, just with the sheer amount of content and a lot of shit that pops off is stuff like that, it's exhausting. And that filter, you go, oh shit, I feel left behind. I feel left behind, and I feel like I need to be doing this. These people are doing what they want to do, making money, this lifestyle that they have, and what am I doing?
And also, I think social media is also very good at showing you what's popular. And the ones that get popular are usually the best of the best. So if you follow content, like if you follow artists, you're going to see people who are the best of the best. Like, you want to draw, but you'll get fed people who are professional artists. So then you also then feel like, oh, I'm never going to get there. So what's the point? And things like that. I think social media has also made it to the point where all you see is the top layer of, like, that top 1% of people who are professionals, who have been working on this for years. So it's like, it's almost, I don't know, it's unintentionally putting a stopper on you, because then it's like you see all these people and you're like, well, I can never get there. So what's the point of even trying?
I think
that's also kind of like a double-edged sword too. Is you want to consume more things, but the only things that's fed to you is the best. So it's like, okay, well, how, like, sure, you can find inspiration from those, of course, but if all you get is like the best stuff in the world, and you don't actually see anyone's journey these days, you don't really see, like, oh, people practicing, or people who are like, oh, I'm starting off, like, you don't see much of that unless you look for it. So you don't really see the process of what people went through. All you see is, bam, this is the final product. This is amazing. well, shit, I'm never gonna get there. So why even bother at my age? Kind of thing.
So Blue and I have been talking about, and we're trying to like see if we're on the same page here with Robbie here, and I think there's a lot of like similarities. The things that we can do is, I honestly think, hearing what Blue is saying now too, and I was thinking, like, reading back over this many times in the time that we were talking right now, it's got to be a detox. It's got to be like, it's got to be, there's got to be something. And hey, there's no answer here. I don't know what it is. Like, it could be like not checking your phone, or like, it could be as simple as that, or just like, no joke. And I don't mean this in like a joke, like, touch grass, just get out, just get the fuck out for a bit, you know? Like, there needs to be scheduled, and it could be like 15 minutes a day. And I bet that would like change a lot, but just a routine scheduled detox that's aware. You're aware. One of the things that really helped me to get out of my like shitty thing was reading. There's a famous book, maybe you know this too, The Artist's Way, where they talk about how opening up a book, an A4 piece of paper, and writing 3 pages before, when you wake up, you write 3 pages of whatever's on your mind, and it's pretty hard. Of A4, nope, A4 piece of paper, actually pretty big. Most notebooks in Japan, not A4, way smaller. So when you find an A4 and 3 pages of just thoughts, your brain gets drained, and you have like things that like the time that I spent like just like waking up and looking at your phone, gone. And even doing that for a couple of days, you start to feel like, oh, there's like some kind of like detox happening. And it's not something that lasts. You can't do that forever. But having that moment of like, oh, this is what the detox feels like, and I like it. So then you can replace that with something else. But I feel like the only way to get out of it right now, because I don't think you've lost it forever. I want to make it really clear.
Yeah. I don't think any of us has.
It's that filter, man. That creative side is there. It's obviously there. And you know what it is? In those moments, even this inspiration, at least for me, cannot come from other people. For maybe a little bit, it comes from like, wow, I see that they're trying, and I connect with them more than just some random YouTuber. So you might think that that's inspiration, and it might be for a little bit. But then you start to go, you start to fall into that filter again. It's like, well, and then it burns you out. Because we all have different lives, right? And it's always like, grass is always green on the other side. And it always ends up being in that way when that filter is so strong. So it's not that you lost, it's that thick ass filter of that work and growing up has built. That's just like going like, nope. It's you're swiping left on everything creative at this point in life Tinder. And it's just like anything that makes money, it's like right, left. It's is what it's like, you know? And once you're creative and you find love in art, you die with it. And I stand by it. No one loses that. Like, you can hide it and suppress it, or like do your best and become be like, that was my past. But like, you see, like, even the biggest, I just had this conversation with Daihe the engineer. It was like, when you look at it, one of the biggest business owners in Japan, like, and there's actually a ton, but one being Maezawa, which is like, who's like one of the richest guys in the world, went to space, the guy that did Zozo Town. Dude, used to play in a band called Switch Style 20 years ago. In like a band that like, and it's that like creative mindset. And he started off as a distro, like he would sell CDs, and then it went to clothes, and then he's in space, like, and now he's just like one of the biggest like CEOs in Japan, or like in the world. So it's this like creative mindset that he has, that he's learned, and he said it in interviews, that he has from his band days, from his music days. That creativity never left him. It's just that it has different things now that he prioritizes, or he applies it to different things that might seem completely uncreative, but at the end of the day, it all roots from the same thing. So all that stuff, all this taste, all this shit that you built, and you have this love, all the anime that you watched, all the music that you listen to, even if you're not feeling like you're listening to new artists, that's normal too. All this stuff, you're gonna find like one artist, maybe like 1 in 3 years, are like, damn, fuck yeah, that's just gonna spark it back up, because that's always there. I don't even think I know that it's always there. It just doesn't leave. So I don't want you to ever think that you've forfeited that mind. It's just that filter, and it happens to me. It happens to everybody. I'm sure it happens to everyone. You grow up and you have responsibilities, and you have like freelance jobs or working in an office where you need to make a living and you need to eat. These like weird things, and it's normal because you need to live. You need to pay the bills. It becomes this huge filter of, is this a waste of time, or is this worth my time? And a lot of it is, it's being able to navigate. No, but I need this mentally. So fuck yeah, might not make $1 million doing it, but I need this. It's gonna help me actually. I can apply this to work, or maybe I want to separate from work, but I need this so I can perform better. And that's a normal way of thinking, but we've learned to cut all that shit off and only do work, and everything else is a waste of time. And it builds over time, little by little, every year. And then before we know it, it's like, fuck, I'm not interested in anything.
Yeah. But I still don't know how to get out of it. So if you find out a way, please let me know, and I'll let you know too if I find something.
Yeah.
Because I have no idea how to get out of it still. So, yeah.
It just takes time, and it's a seasonal thing too. Sometimes you feel a little bit more inspired, but yeah, I think it's worth talking about it. I think, and it's not like I have the answers to it. I just had a suggestion that it worked for me, but it doesn't mean that it works for everybody.
Yeah,
I'm very lucky with the people around me too. So, yeah, thank you so much, man. Hopefully, we were able to answer a little bit. All right. Hello, guys. My question needs a little backstory before I ask it. Couple of months after I started dating my girlfriend, we decided to stay together, so she moved in with me, and we have been going strong ever since. Good shit. At the time, making that decision was tough, as none of the couples I knew in my circle have done this before, getting engaged or married. Right as I was thinking about this, I was watching your stream where you mentioned that you guys also moved in relatively soon after clicking, and that was way before Gray proposed to Blue. That was essentially one of the biggest contributors for me to decide together. Really? Stay together with my significant other, so thanks, guys. Do y'all think staying together before getting married, engaged is the way to go?
Yes.
Do you think?
And I'll explain.
Do you think it affects relationships more positively as you spend a lot of time with a person, or should it be a case-by-case type of thing? Before Blue answers, one thing that I wanted to say was, we started living together the day I asked her out. But
that's also rare, because I've never done that with any of my previous relationships.
I asked her out.
I think we were very special occasion where it just clicked.
Yeah.
But my previous relationships, I never actually did that. This is the first time.
Me neither. I mean, this is the first
I think
and last.
I wouldn't really recommend the first day, honestly.
Yeah.
It might be but I do 100% believe that staying together, living together before getting married is 100% the way to go. I don't know how people did it back then, but because the thing is, once you start living together, you see the parts that we lack. Like, you see the parts that you hide when you do live separately, because you start being more comfortable with each other and you start seeing the flaws. Like the fact that when I use scissors or something, I don't put it back. That's something you learn once you start living with me.
Yeah.
I'm really shit at putting stuff back. Or the fact that he leaves his socks everywhere. That's something you learn once you start living together. You don't learn that when you're separate. So then you see like the quote unquote like bad parts of each other. The parts that you will have to love, even though they're probably never gonna really grow out of it, because it's a habit that they've built for so long. So it's like you discover things, and then you can be like, okay, yeah, no, I can tolerate that. That's fine. Or like, oh no, that's a fucking breaking point. Like I can't. That's too gross, or that's too weird, or it's like, oh, I can't live with that. Then it's like a pretty good indicator that it's not gonna work out well. Yeah. So I think you really learn good things too, of course. Like, oh, this person's really good at this in the house, or they're really good at this when like things like that. It's like you learn the good things and the bad things that naturally come out when you live together. So
okay, so I agree. And this actually goes back to that relationship question before about the different types of relationships. I think that it is the way to go, but there needs to be a mutual understanding that this is more than that. the
Oh,
question
of course,
before
course.
of
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, this is just like dating. And,
Yeah.
like,
You both have to understand that you are both trying to aim for marriage.
this is like,
Like, it's not temporary.
or like even if it's like marriage is not what you are going for, because Blue and I were together for
long-term,
yeah,
long-term relationship, yeah.
once both of you know that and you guys are in it and you're like, hey, like you never know what happens, right?
Yeah.
But if at the moment you are like, yes, I think that this is going to be a long lasting, like I want to, it just got to be that you guys both want it to be a long lasting relationship in the moment. And people might be like, well, dude, everybody thinks that at first. I think that question before actually clearly shows that a lot of people are not like, that's a type of relationship that can exist where it could just be like a spur of the moment thing, right? But if both of you are on the same page and go, yeah, I think I can see like 5 years into this, like I can't actually see it, but like there's a feeling. It's just a feeling that you have, right? Then yeah, I say go for it. But with the different types of dating and whatnot, again, communication is important, that you guys are both there and on the same page. But as long as you guys are on the same page, I don't think there's any reason for you guys to be living apart. Or like because at the end of the day, hopefully, again, maybe that might be new. You guys might not want to live together, even if you guys are married, and that's
Well, you don't have to either, yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's totally up to you. But if both of you want to, then I'd say it's more positive than negative.
If that's like in the back of your head, like, well, if it goes good, then we'll live together. If that's if that's in your head and it's gonna happen someday.
It also helps you learn to learn what to tolerate and what not to tolerate. So then you can discuss like, oh, well, we need to work on this. We should, or like, I think it just gives you a better understanding of each other before you fully commit. Because of course, like marriage isn't forever. You can get divorced, all that stuff. But like there's a lot of paperwork and a lot of time, a lot of financials. Like it's a lot of work. So just being like, hey, let's break up, it's so much easier than that, right? So that's what I mean by like, before you 100% commit, I think it's really good to see how someone lives in the comforts of their own home.
And I think you've noticed this because you did go for it, how close you guys are.
Yeah.
Just the level of how close you guys are because of that versus if you guys were not.
Yeah.
Is something, of course there's things that the bad parts or parts that these like maybe like, whoa, surprises, but there at the same time there's really, really amazing good surprises that you have that make you love them even more. So that's also like a plus. And I think once you kind of know. And if you feel like this is the person I want to be with, then it's like I don't see any reason not to, unless it's just something that you guys don't even ever think about living together. If you guys are thinking about living together at some point and you think that it's all gut feeling, you can never like, that's not something you can really calculate.
I mean, also, it also depends on couples, because some people do like shared. Some people even have like joint bank accounts. We don't have that. We live together, but we don't have joint bank accounts. Like, but some people have joint everything. So it also depends on, what you guys are comfortable with and how you communicate and what's convenient for you guys. And so it also depends on that too. Some people have separate bedrooms. Some people will have separate beds. Like it just it depends on what works for you. So. Yeah,
some people share the same office and stream together. Like it's just all different kinds of things. Yeah. It's everyone's different, but with that question, I think it's the way to go. Yeah. At least it's worked for us for now.
Yeah.
Blue.
I mean, that's how I found out that that's what?
You want an office? You keep saying you want to move out?
Yeah.
Right? You want a different office? Separate offices?
You smell after you come home drinking.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for checking out this time's SOSO podcast. We appreciate it. All the questions. And again, we'll let you guys know when we do the next one. So please,
thank you guys so much.
These are awesome, man. Thank you guys so much for being so honest with us. We'll keep this up, and we'll see you guys in the next SOSO podcast. All right?
Bye,
Take care, you guys.